There's a really long delay in being able to process everything that's happened over the last year with songs that I wrote, so insular and kind of isolated, just growing beyond what I ever thought they could do. It is so hard to process. It's also very overwhelming, and I feel so grateful for all of it. And I'm often terrified because suddenly this thing that was a world inside my head for such a long time, I'm confronted again with it, but in front of thousands of people. And the time that I've come closest to being able to process all of this is when I'm playing shows and I'm touring. I see this community that has grown so quickly, people coming to shows on their own and leaving with friends, people queuing and knitting and writing fairy messages and giving them to each other. And no one really can prepare you for having a whole room of people singing your lyrics back to you, lyrics that you wrote at a time where you felt so powerless and so frustrated, and writing was my only outlet then. And that was kind of going into a void, and now there is no void. That void is filled with joy and love and sincerity and this feeling of relief and hope at every single show. I'm immensely grateful for all of you who have come to shows, because it is every single one of you that makes it the safe space that it is, and who, as well as bringing that feeling and that joy to each other, it reaches me on stage and on tour. And it would be really easy to feel so isolated, but these last 6 months to a year, I've been surrounded by such a wonderful band and crew and friends, and met Sarah and Julia, who stayed with me throughout multiple tours, even though that's not really typical of a support act, but I became such fast friends with them. I love their music so much, it resonates with me so deeply. I hope that a lot of you feel the same, especially if you discovered them at one of my shows. And exploring different places with them and feeling like I had someone to go through all of this with was really special. It felt like such a beautiful, kind of symbolic, blend of girlhood whilst being in this really strange environment away from home. I felt the same way when I texted Sophia and asked her to join me on stage. We sang The Doll People and The Last Woman on Earth together, and that felt so insanely powerful. And we get put together so often in online spaces, and it felt like a culmination of something where we acknowledged that we'd both been through, such a similar path over the last few years. Things seem to feel like they happened so quickly, and I really struggled with that. I suffered a lot touring with my anxiety and my OCD. I went to therapy session upon therapy session. I did talking therapy, I did EMDR therapy for months in the lead up to big shows. Bit by bit, I've become less and less petrified. I've been surrounded by the right people who have really supported me and uplifted me. And there is increasingly just a lot of euphoria in touring for me now, where I would have never believed myself last year if I'd have told myself that I would feel as powerful as I do now walking onto stage. But it is the most unique and immense feeling. Sharing in that space with everyone and being up there on stage, and it is a childhood dream that I had, that I never really imagined would be realised. Not just to be a musician, to be a writer, but to have a platform, to have a voice, to not feel like I was powerless in the face of things that frustrated me and made me feel terrified, and looking out on all a room of people who all feel the same and feel empowered to be there is more than I could have ever asked for. With the struggle that I underwent when I first started it feels like even sweeter and more powerful now, because I know that it's work that I did to work through everything to make sure I could do it. Touring is such an intensive job that is so strange and bizarre, and you're far from home a lot of the time. And looking out on crowds of that and seeing sometimes really, really young girls, it makes me so emotional. One of the strangest and most wonderful things to have come out of the last few months of touring was the fairy dancing. It started completely spontaneously, independently to me having asked or suggested it be a thing. I was on stage in Paris and I finished the show and I came off stage and I went back to my dressing room, and then all the fans started holding hands and dancing in circles, and I ran out to see, and you were dancing like fairies in circles in the woods. And it's been the most magical and most fun thing to witness every single night, watching strangers join hands and dance with each other after a show instead of going home. And every so often, if I feel like it, I do come out and join with all of you. And honestly, there's no other feeling like it. I'm so overcome with love and gratitude every time. At every single show, every single night, I'm reminded of the power that we have in our solidarity and community with each other.
The next song we are going to play is actually not released yet. I have a lot of thoughts about what a submissive and self-contradictory belief system patriarchy is. There's always a lot of imagery about patriarchy being this ladder, being this tower that men are climbing, but I see no tower. I just see a circle of dogs all wagging their tails for each other in the hope that the next one will give him some modicum of attention or power. And it never comes back round. So I wrote this song called Good Boy.